Welcome back to Hackceler8 2023, coming to you from Tokyo in Japan. I'm your host, Paul Dev. I am alongside Technical Program Manager to the Stars, Ollie. Ollie, it's been a fantastic weekend so far. What's been the thing that's got you most excited?
Oh, what's got me most excited? It's been a fantastic weekend. I'm really into how tense it is. Some teams come straight out of the gates and get 3 keys or 3 items. Other teams are a little bit slower. Then they may actually not get another key for a while, and then the other team ramps up, and it's that kind of like cat and mouse kind of game that I'm really into and really excited by. How about yourself?
It's much the same, to be honest. It's how down to the wire each match has gotten. Our semi-final one, for example, was Cat But Sad versus the organizers. It really looked like organizers were going to come with from behind with a number of flag captures.
Yeah.
A little bit too late in the end, and Cat But Sad advanced onwards. It was a great match, though. Just that like last minute flurry of flags has been really interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
It's been a wonderful set of matches. They've been playing from Friday through to now. We're into our semi-finals too. Our second set of teams are DiceGang and the Maple Mallard Magistrates, a name that's really, really fantastic at the end of the day. The Maple Mallard Magistrates, an interesting team. I feel like they're the strong favorite in this competition at the moment. What do we know about them?
Yeah, I would tend to agree they're the strong favorite. So Maple Mallard Magistrates, they are a combination of the team PPP, the Duck, and Maple Bacon. So you can kind of see they took the PPP and then became MMM. They are currently the Google CTF 2023 qualifier winners. So as we all know, to get into Hackceler8, you have to qualify from the Google CTF. So they're kind of here trying to keep their crown. So it's a bit of pride on the line. But yeah, so they were here. They went through to the final from Friday, and but they still arrived yesterday, and smashed it, and it's still played along.
That's right. They were playing through yesterday, which was really interesting. It's that kind of experience of doing more challenges, spending more time with the game. I wonder how that's going to pay off for them. Like, conversely, in the last match, we saw Cat But Sad. Like, they took yesterday off. And I wonder, if we're going to see much of a difference there.
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword. It could have been a confidence boost if they came yesterday, and it was for them, because I went by, was talking to one of them, and I said, "Oh, how'd you do in that last round?" They weren't actually playing, and he just pointed at the screen, and I looked, and I was like, "Oh, you got all seven icons."
Oh,
yeah,
just
well
like
done.
that.
Awesome. Yeah, good job. So they were pretty confident after that.
That's pretty interesting. Up against them, not to be slept on, is DiceGang. DiceGang, interesting group. I've heard they've given us a lot of background information that you've got there.
Yeah, so we reach out to every team and say, what's some good information about your team you'd like to tell us? DiceGang, and this might take me a while to go through. DiceGang, founded in 2019.
Perfect.
There we go.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all they gave us. No, it's DiceGang. Who doesn't love an underdog? They're the underdog in this round so far. I spoke to them a couple of days ago just to meet and greet them, and I sort of was asking, so on the airplane over, did you watch any movies or anything? Did you get to relax? They were like, no, we just coded the whole time. We did all of our tooling, and I was like, well, I watched this film, I watched this film, and I watched this film, and they were like, oh, nice for some, and I was like, yeah.
That's pretty impressive that they've spent all that time getting ready for the competition. Again, sort of plays into that, how ready are they, the amount of experience that they've put forward, in getting familiar with the game. So. And
I believe we heard about their high-vis jackets in the last game, and they're on the back of their seats now.
Oh, there they are.
So you can't miss them, if anything. But yeah.
And so they're walking around Shibuya, Tokyo, wearing these high-vis jackets. I am going to have to keep my eye out. That looks fantastic.
Yeah, I was chatting to DiceGang before this, and apparently there's some sort of agreement between the two teams that if one of them, the winner that gives the other team something else. So maybe the high-vis jackets, or maybe one of their shirts. I think they're agreeing to swap.
Personal trophies of sorts.
Yeah, I did ask you if they were going to wash the shirts before giving them over, but no, apparently MMM have requested the shirts immediately. if they were to lose.
Oh, that's amazing. So one of these two teams will go on to face Cat But Sad in the finals. The finals taking place at 6:30 Japan Standard Time. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see exactly which of these two. They're all really strong teams at the end of the day, and I can't call it either way. I have no sense of who's going to take this one.
No, me either. I would tend to lean towards Maple Mallard Magistrates, just because they won their group stage and they did so well yesterday when they didn't even need to turn up. They
could have confidence flex, you know.
Yep,
it's amazing.
Could have explored Tokyo, but
no, went for the flex. We're just going to solve yesterday. DiceGang, I mean, I'm still feeling. I like the underdog story, as you put it. You know, who doesn't love an underdog? It's hard to say. It's going to be it's going to be a tough match. We saw in semifinals ones that it can really just come down to the wire at the end of the day. So it's interesting to see what will come out. But the game itself that they're going to be playing is something that's worth taking a look at. We've built from the ground up a very bespoke game. It's new. We've got fantastic characters. We're taking a look now at the overworld. Some interesting things here.
Yeah, and the best part for me is that not all of the first challenge they've got to solve is which of these worlds is actually open. I know it because it's on a sheet in front of me. Yeah, that's the first challenge. And here you can see the Mew talking to Jesse James.
Jesse James, yes.
So
kind of love hitting that.
Yeah, showing a little bit of how you enter some passwords and stuff, and a bit of the mechanics of the game. But yeah, the overworld looks great.
It really does. And from there, they go into any one of those levels, and a couple of them that we'll take a look at. We've got our Rusty level here. What can you tell us about this one?
Well, apart from some lore around this, this is where the AI was born. But yeah, this is the one of the main platformer levels that we'll end up seeing. It was featured in the last game, in the last semi-final, but it might be a different challenge this time, and that's something that's going through. Players may have gotten used to seeing a certain type of challenge in this area, but we may be switching it up.
Absolutely. It's all of the levels they probably have seen before. We've got our typical water level as well. This one was very familiar from our last games. We saw a lot of teams spending time here. Interesting thoughts about this one at all?
I'm trying to decide, is that like a Viking jellyfish?
I really had no idea in the last match, so it looks like it.
I'll write it into lore right now.
I think I'm quite happy with Viking jellyfish.
Yeah.
Similarly, the little blue creature off to the side that was shooting at them in the last match, I couldn't work that out. I think like a seahorse or something?
Yeah, it looks a little bit like it. It looks great, whatever
it all really does, and these games play through like really nicely, and it's fun to watch people play through it.
Yeah. And it's nice to see the variation. So the floor is lava. We saw in a different level.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we have seen the floor is lava elsewhere as well. So it's interesting to see how well we use these levels and how the teams adapt to how the levels are being used as well.
And finally, our courageous Mew goes off into space at the end for the final sort of environment and zone that they'll be playing in. What can you tell me about this level? This feels very final in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, some might say this is where the AI is trying to leave Earth and blast off into space. But again, that's just some lore I'm writing on the spot. Yeah, this is the space level. Yeah, I think we've seen a few of these before, a few different variations. Last round, this was the floor is lava.
Yeah, that was an interesting challenge. That went really quick for Cat But Sad, but it was a bit more of a struggle for the organisers. So
sure.
We'll see how they approach it this time. So that's the worlds that they'll be playing in. But of course, if you saw semi-finals one, they have challenges within each separate world. So the types of challenges will vary. They're getting increasingly difficult as we go along. And our first challenge for this semi-finals is a wonderfully titled Brain Duck Challenge. What can you tell me about this one?
Yeah, Brain Duck Challenge. To solve this, you might need to do something that rhymes with brain duck. Yeah, we won't. It's PG-13, so we won't go too deep into that.
It's imagination.
Previous examples of this, we've seen that you have to do something on the left side, which then maps across to the maze. there may be other challenges coming up. Again, who knows?
This feels like I'm playing because it just keeps saying you died over and over again. And
Yeah.
that's about my skill level
Yeah,
right now.
I think I would have cried by now and turned off the laptop.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. The other challenges that they'll be facing, this one, somewhat confusingly, it is a space challenge in a space level. So what can you tell me about this one? Does this look like a fairly run-of-the-mill platformer, but hard?
Yeah, so I think what you're seeing here is similar to what happened in the previous game, where there's the floor is lava, kind of floor is an invisible lava is increasing. But one of the things that is pretty unique about Hackceler8 is there's a lot of speed running aspects, so you need someone who can do the platforming well. Even the tiniest mistake will cause you to die, and then you have to restart again. So that's what you need good speed running, and you need good platforming. I think I might make it onto a team for some platforming, but for hacking, nah.
Not so much.
Yeah.
I could only dream of being a good speedrunner as well. But our final challenge for them, or at least that we'll take a look at now, is our logic-based challenge. What kind of capture the flag tournament would it be without a logic challenge? And this one, it just looks intense. What can you tell me about what's going on here?
All I can say is I want to talk to the person that created this, because this looks wild. But yeah, no, it's what we've got here is there's some sort of solution they need to solve. I don't want to dive too deep into it and describe it too much because we are live streaming. But once they solve the solution, the bar at the top will disappear, and they'll be able to enter through it and retrieve an item. Anything that is not platformer related will allow you to obtain an item that may benefit you in the long run.
So there's a pattern in there somewhere. I'm not seeing it, but I'm not nearly as good at pattern recognition as I think the teams are.
I can't take my eyes from it. It is very difficult.
It's fantastic. It looks just so involved. So yeah, they're the challenges that the teams will be facing, and once again for our second semi-final, our teams that are playing now are the Maple Mallard Magistrates and DiceGang. Maple Mallard Magistrates, strong team all around. I think we've seen some early stages that we're going to get a look at some of their tooling and things like that. Have you seen anything interesting on that side of things, the tooling front for them?
Tooling side, lots of overlays, I believe. It all kind of rolls into one. You walk around 10 different or 8 different teams, and you sort of see, oh, that's neat, and then yeah. But for Maple, I believe. I think some of their strengths lie in the bosses. I think they were pretty good at doing the bosses.
Yeah, I actually was standing behind on yesterday when it was their day off. I was standing behind one of their players as they finished off the boss, which we haven't seen so far, and we'll hope we'll get to see it in this match. Of course, not a guarantee that we'll see any of the bosses necessarily, as we saw in Semifinals 1. It can just come down to time and who has the most flags.
Yep.
Could be a really interesting setup. DiceGang, again, not to be slept on. We're building up an underdog status for them. If it didn't exist before, it exists now, right?
Yeah, I mean, you said earlier, who doesn't like an underdog? I don't think Mew likes an underdog. Ooh. Just because of being a cat.
Yeah.
But hopefully Mew aligns with them this time. But they struggled a little bit recently with some of the boss runs, which can be tough. We have 2 different types of boss. We have an LLM, and we have for lack of a better phrase, like a Metroidvania kind of like Mega Man-esque shooty boss. There is an official phrase for it, but I've forgotten it.
I kind of like Mega Man-esque shooty boss. This is great. It's been really amazing to see these teams so far. It's been a stunning couple of days watching everyone play. All teams that have participated in Hackceler8 2023 so far have been fantastic. Any final thoughts?
No, just I'm just excited to see how they approach this and how they do it.
It'll be really interesting. If the last match was anything to go by, this match is going to be spectacular. I can see now that the teams are ready, and we're getting the signal that it's about to get underway. So let's go into our countdown and get this thing started.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that's semi-final 2 underway, and it always starts off in much of the same way, which I don't know if it's going to be slow or fast.
Phew, someone is loading the game.
Someone's loading
Thank God,
the
thank God, thank God. I mean, first of all, the first technique I'm seeing is DiceGang have huddled together in a corner. One person has stayed far off to the side. Unclear as to why they've been ostracized, but we'll have to have a chat later.
The Maple Mallard Magistrates have they've got a fantastic overlay here. This is probably the most professional looking. Oh no, they both do.
Yeah, DiceGang.
This is amazing, actually. There's a lot of getting set up here and seeing what's running. There's a lot going on right now. So we've got DiceGang running through some kind of, what is this? Is it a tick simulator or something?
Yeah, they're applying ticks, but I'm not quite sure what they're applying them for. Maybe simulating something. Maybe thinking that some of our challenges involve ticks and how that might align.
Well, we saw in the last semi-finals that there was a tick counter that one of the teams had, but yeah, this is an interesting move. We can see their tooling here. I'm actually not sure what's going on in the back, but that is a lot of lines.
Yeah, that looks kind of like Tron.
They've just exited the level, but that looked like it was from the top. That was interesting.
Yeah.
And they're going to load back up the game.
There is the potential that something could be kicking in that's kicking them out.
Oh, our wonderful anti-cheat again.
Yes, for sure. This will be the first time they've encountered it.
This is interesting. Magnet.json to be loaded.
Again, speaking of not being able to look away, that's tough to not look away from.
Right?
The loading of the ticks, yeah.
Yeah, it's something is happening, but it's very unclear as to what. Maple Mallard Magistrates, on the other hand, they seem to be loading in still, or they're loading in part of their tooling. Maybe it's trying to get the tooling defined to the game client.
Yeah.
But it looks like it might be a bit of a struggle there at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like they're having to do some debugging right there.
Look, I'm immediately thankful that both teams are showing up front and center, you know, what they've got in terms of their tooling. After organizers go the route of trying to troll us and hide it away, makes it a lot nicer.
If they don't solve this anti-cheat, it will not help them in the long run.
That's true. That's true. So there's the anti-cheat I've heard is somewhat sophisticated. So or it's, you know, we saw it come into play in the last match. It looked defeated though, so
yeah, well, I think Cat and Sad were able to defeat it. But again, to what level, we never know exactly what they don't have enabled. Oh,
okay, this is interesting.
Wow.
Wow, they've just loaded straight in, and they've taken the magnet item.
Wow.
The logic puzzle has been absolutely solved in the background there.
That's incredible.
That is amazing. So that's evidently what was loaded there.
That's a blink and you miss it kind of moment.
That really is. So yeah, DiceGang has the first flag there, or first item, sorry, in the magnet. I still cannot see any pattern in the logic there. I'm sure it exists, but I'm not seeing it.
Yes, I'm seeing that they have the magnet, but we didn't hear the sound, and we haven't heard the. And we can't see it on the icon. Do we know if the magnet's been obtained? This
becomes a real question, right? Like, is this happening client side, or has it been registered by the server? It can be a number of different things. Like, it could be the server hasn't registered. Oh, there
we go. There it is. There it is.
So it's clicked over. They have the magnet. Well done to DiceGang for first blood.
Again, to my eyes, they didn't do anything on the screen there, so we're trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it could just be a synchronization issue at the end of the day that it hasn't come in. Because there was a bit of like walking around to, I guess, maybe, you know, set a state of some description.
For sure.
But they'll be loading in again, so that'll be interesting. We still haven't seen much from Maple Mallard Magistrates at this point.
Yeah, and you get a quick look here at the overlay. They've got a number of items on there. I will save you all and not read them out. But yeah, they're doing something involving ducks, which could be for one of our challenges later.
This could be Quackington. Could come up at this point. But there's a lot of duck buttons there.
It's for the brain duck, right?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
yeah, that makes much more sense. There was a lot of there's a lot of duck buttons there, so I think they're ready for it. We've got Space Key Blue as well. And they seem to have some control over the platforming with ticks and auto shooting, so that seems interesting.
Yeah.
This screen, however, just is straight out of like a 1990s sci-fi movie with all the green lines. Has to form a grid somewhere.
For sure.
So they've got mini maps, freeform, tracing, hitboxes. Yeah. Whoa!
Oh.
Clear out of nowhere, there is the second key.
Yeah.
Wow.
They've shot to the top.
They're just solidifying the position at this point. It's, yeah, Magnet and Key for DiceGang. This underdog story is starting to look very interesting.
Yeah.
But again, we've seen it before. We almost saw it in the last semi-finals as well. This could turn, you know, this could be a simple matter of Maple Mallard Magistrates, like, getting their tooling to connect properly, and then it could just be off to the races.
Yeah, and we use the phrase, you've seen it before. I saw nothing.
Yeah,
I'm just getting the keys.
We'd describe the challenge to you if we could, but everyone saw what we saw, and they just had the key.
So you have a tick count in the top left corner, I believe. It's matching the server and the client.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'd have to do a post-match interview to understand what they've done.
It's always really interesting, and that's a good point. You know, it's worth keeping an eye on in the coming weeks. A lot of these challenges will be have solutions written for them and available, and write-ups from some of the teams sometimes happen as well, so you can get an idea. And these challenges also, I believe, will be available for people to have a look at as well.
They sure will. You get a little look here at DiceGang's overlay, showing all the hitboxes. This is pretty common and pretty good. And what's that?
This is interesting.
This is not the floor is lava. This is the
wall.
The wall is lava. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that trash compactor scene out of Star Wars, right? Like
yeah.
There's a death.
Yeah. But it was almost like they let themselves kind of die. Wonder what they were doing.
It's interesting.
They were kind of frozen. What level? That's Rusty, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Meanwhile, Maple Mallard Magistrates have loaded in. We've got a lot of different overlays playing here, so you can see immediately they've identified the spaces that they need to go to on the overworld map.
Got some sort of like mini-map in the top right corner. I don't know what that is.
Feels like that old sort of Counter-Strike radar type, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But each map tile is labelled here. The hitboxes are out, and there's reverse, like, rewinding a state happening here as well. So that'll be interesting to see how much they can do that, because that feels like it would trigger anti-cheat at some point.
It does, yeah. And they're clearly using it to correct some of the platforming that, I mean, I've already said I wouldn't have made that mistake, but because I'm an excellent platformer. But yeah, so this is what we should have seen from DiceGang, but who just shot to the top without even in a nanosecond.
There it is.
And that's the first.
That's the first flag, I believe. But
yeah, I think they have to land for it to register.
They have to land. Is the client needing to catch up? Looks, they've exited the level. Yep, there it is.
Go. Yeah, so there's a slight delay.
Yeah. So there's the first flag for Maple Mallard Magistrate. Sorry, key. I keep calling them flags. Key for Maple Mallard Magistrates. So it is 2-1 in DiceGang's favor at the moment. DiceGang moving through their level. This is just wireframe goodness happening over here.
Yeah.
Very slow movement. This is more what I've been expecting to see in some of these platform levels. This far along in the competition, where it's a lot more controlled movement, you know, precise frame-perfect movement, even if you slow down the frames.
Agreed. Yeah, and what they're doing here is they're advancing the tick so they can kind of slow down the state, basically, and use it to their advantage. But we almost want to, we've got a side-by-side now of both teams, and they're both on the same challenge.
Same level.
They're almost neck and neck as well, so we could turn this into a race commentating.
We've actually got some info, like these orange zones that have been highlighted by Maple Mallard Magistrates. They don't exist in the tooling for DiceGang. It doesn't seem to. I wonder what
DiceGang have to be careful because Mew is on 30 health, whereas the health looks a little bit better for
MMM.
For
it's
MMM.
51.
Yeah.
And they're moving along a lot faster here, so you're right, it is turning into that kind of race.
Mew seems to be in some sort of spaceship as well. It looks like.
I think
like a rocket.
I saw this before. They've like picked up one of the cannons that fire at them at the early level.
Awesome.
For both of them. So it's they're moving along. They've just had a little high five there, and it feels like MMM moving past. Oh no, there's a death.
MMM have died.
What a shame.
In the game.
In the game.
And here we have it. They're about to grab the key.
It. And there's the key grab.
Nice.
They've landed.
Nice.
Oh, with 5 health remaining.
Nice.
That's pretty good. So waiting for the registration of the key. Again, a lot of this is down to the client synchronizing to the server and hopefully not running afoul of the anti-cheat. So it probably necessarily might not be over until it's been confirmed. And there it is.
Yep. So we are neck and neck at the moment, but with the caveat that whoever got the first, the second key first, or the most recent key first.
They're moving along quite briskly here. There's a certain kind of confidence to.
Well, then were they booted or did they exit?
I think they exited there.
Okay.
Because when they got last time when they got booted, there was a statement that they were kicked by anti-cheat.
Nice.
So
they've got, looks like in their overlay they've got they've got that pretty cool mini map. There's Jesse. Jesse. Oh yeah, sorry. But yeah, the mini map looks really awesome. And they've got various layers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so we are in.
This looks very similar to the last challenge.
We're in CCTV, and this challenge is. What's this challenge called in CCTV?
I think this one's our soccer challenge.
What's soccer? I don't know what soccer is.
I have the feeling this was gonna. It's soccer, right?
Yeah, it's football. Let's call it football.
We'll call it football. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
As you can see there, Mew is running through all of the lasers and gradually losing life, and is not going to make it to the end.
9.25. Oh,
jumping.
And dead.
Yeah, jumping did not help.
No, but rewinding the state again, so they're back down.
I wonder if there's a limit on the rewind. Ah,
that's interesting.
So there is an interesting mechanic here that we will discuss when we see it in play.
They're still taking the death at this point. The rewind.
If I was Mew now, I would just see that sign for the bar and just head to the bar.
Head to the bar.
Lasers or bar. It's
a tough choice. You know, I think it's. But they've come into this. They took a lot of hits getting to this point in the level.
Yeah.
And so they're coming into the laser section with only about 30 health, and the strategy's interesting. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's. At the end of the day, you know, similar to sort of last time is how they're going to take as little damage as possible as they go through. There's going to be certain frames that the game will check the health for whether you should take damage, possibly. This is, again, wild speculation for me.
For sure. So it looks like we're at that point now in both teams where they're both not stuck on a challenge, but they're at the point where they need to reevaluate tooling, see what worked, see what didn't work, and then come back. Hopefully stronger.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's been pretty quiet for DiceGang since the second flag for them, so we can see that they're still focused as much as they can be on the game itself. But at what point this will kick in, it's anyone's guess, really.
Yeah.
It's it'll be interesting to see if for 2 keys versus, you know, a key and an item. The magnet item, that's going to come into play, you think, again? We saw it last time in the water levels where that helped them progress there. Any chance you reckon we'll see that again?
Yeah, it should do. We have the water level coming up, so it should help them in that level. Whether they're then going to switch off and switch to that level is unknown to me.
We see a restart of the game?
I'm just now seeing there's another additional layer to the overlay for MMM.
Oh yeah.
Allow non-copied games, and they're checking how far they are ahead of the server.
That's interesting.
Oh, I think I see dog on screen.
Dogs on screen.
Dogs on screen, half covered by the overlay.
They seem to be loading in here. This looks very familiar again. I've got the distinct feeling there's going to be a key or an item grab here.
I think so as well, because the crowd has clapped.
So
they
know things we don't.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
They know lots of things I don't, but specifically about the game, they know a few things.
At the very least, we get this like actual count to probably when the key's going to be taken. So we'll see how strong this goes. 100%. They've loaded in. They look to be roughly in the right place, I think.
Yeah.
Freeze game, unfreeze game. So
Jesse seems to be offering.
Oh, Jesse's asking for the password. It's whether they've got the password or not at this point. Could we interpret frantic mouse wiggling as I don't have the password?
They've got a special field for text input because our text input field's not good enough. They're using their own one now.
What's wrong with our pixelated blocking text input?
Yeah.
I don't think they have the password, or they've got it somewhere. Looks like they're looking for it.
Yeah.
Just heard from the crowd, it's pass.txt, and there it is.
I thought the password was Hackceler8 2023.
Look, no one's tried it so far.
That's what I've been using for my password.
Yeah.
But no,
yeah. It's just, 2023, just like my PIN number. Oh my. So they're going for the text input.
All the action still happening on DiceGang screen. MMM are still fixing tooling.
Yeah, looks like it.
Trying to solve what to do in that in the football challenge.
Football challenge.
Yeah, not soccer challenge.
Trying to set for the password here. I mean, can they just copy and paste into the game?
I don't know what's stopping them, but
yep, there it is.
Yeah. Well done.
To DiceGang.
I would read it out. Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, I'll read out the. I was like, read out the password. I'll be there a while.
Oh, we've got multiple Mews.
Oh, we've got a little dance wiggle there as well. That was great.
They've really upped their tooling in the last 24 hours.
Absolutely.
They said they went straight to bed after dinner last night, but I don't think they did. They just
worked overtime on the tooling.
Yeah.
So it's 3-2. DiceGang has taken the lead here. Maple Mallard Magistrates still a bit quiet on their side. The distribution of keys versus items is a bit different for both teams. We've got one shared key between them.
Yeah, and as we know, DiceGang were pretty close to getting one of the keys that MMM does have, which would allow them, make them just one off one key than the boss. So my fingers are still crossed that we might see the boss at some point.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that too. I've seen it in other days. Obviously, we saw MMM do it, in their sort of dry run day off, and it looked great.
Ooh.
Whoa, wait, we've got the sound for another flag. We haven't got anything registered at this point.
DiceGang
Might be an errant sound. Yeah, we're trying to figure out who might have had that one. So stay tuned as we find out. You'll find out.
Yeah, nothing's registered just yet for us.
We've got a history of what's been scored so far. Nothing's coming up.
It very well could be one of the teams trolling us, playing the
there's
sound.
a really good chance of that.
Yeah.
Let's just sit there. I would just sit there every 20 seconds and fire it off because, it's that psychological warfare on your other team as well.
And when I say one of the teams, I'm talking about also the organisers, not the organisers we just saw play, the organisers in the crowd. We're looking at you, looking at all of you.
You can admit to it any time you like.
Yeah. So not much happening.
So we're getting some confirmation that we don't believe that was a score. It looks to be a errant sound effect that got away from us. So no score's been registered there after that last one. Still continues on 3-2 in DiceGang's favour. Maple Mallard Magistrates trailing behind by one item or key.
And they need two to at least
to take the lead.
Currently to take the lead.
Yeah. In the event that both teams have the same number of keys and items, the team that scored first will be the winner. If, much like semi-final 1, we don't actually get to an end stage. Hoping to get to an end state though. I want to see the boss.
For sure. Yeah, so what we've got here is a bit of free cam movement. I can see the enable free cam on DiceGang's page, but it looks like MMM have enabled it as well.
Yeah.
Just looking around the map, see what they can do. I think it comes back to what you said earlier, to try and get to that point with losing as little health as possible.
Yeah. It's again, it's always really hard to say what's going on in the background of the tooling development. Like we've seen in the past, and not so much in the finals that we've seen today, but like teams have developed full like recordings, TAS style recordings offline, or the remote team remote players have developed the full style TAS and then sent it to the team that's currently in their booths, and then they'll just play through that at the end. So
yeah, I find it super interesting seeing the different dynamics of the teams. I think we had Cat but Sad were very kind of solo and focused. Each one was looking at tasks, whereas earlier we had organizers who were all kind of working collectively.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of seeing the same fallout with DiceGang and MMM. Although, as I say that, Maple Mallet Magistrates are all talking and colluding and working.
I like that I think it was Maple Mallet Magistrates where they were disproportionately stacked in their box.
Yeah.
They've evened themselves out now at the very least. So
oh yeah,
isolation is over.
I think it might have been DiceGang, but
it's DiceGang. Sorry.
They've also evened themselves out.
It's all evened out.
Yeah.
You might notice a fifth person in the box. That's our referees for the matches. Each team will have a referee, just there in case any kind of problems happen. More just to, tricky states of CTF competitions and encouraging, full-blown hacking is sometimes things can go wrong in ways we didn't expect.
Yeah, and sometimes it works well for them, sometimes it doesn't, and that's what they're there to solve.
So both teams now, they're reevaluating their positions, working on different flags, I would imagine. You can see a lot of action. You can see a lot of the teams, especially in MMM's booth, they're talking to one another quite a bit.
They look excited. I think they might have solved another key. They maybe solved another key or close to solving one.
That kind of getting ready to deploy the exploit, to deploy whatever it is that will get you to that item, to that key. That you can sort of get a sense and a feel for it as that going on. However, at the same time, DiceGang are making some interesting moves here. This has another similar situation of loading in.
They're creating something?
Creating something by the looks of it.
Yeah. What are they doing?
Well, they pulled it, and we've got another flag sound there. And again.
The two flag sounds.
All right, organizers, you can cop to it any time you want. Who gave you the button? No, there seems to be some kind of mismatched state between game client.
What I think what could be happening is if they're running something, it could be registering one of their old kind of scripts that's recollecting almost recollecting a key.
Recollecting it. Yeah, that's it. But this is.
It shouldn't. That shouldn't happen, but it could be that.
Yeah. It works on my computer, kind of thing.
We spend hours on animation, and some teams just create a way that doesn't use the animations. Just goes from bottom to top. It's like
it's a very visual affair that's going on here. But whatever they had running just before that was very interesting. But they didn't get a good glimpse of it. So.
Yeah, both teams now encountering kind of errors, but trying to push through them.
Yeah, it's an interesting state right now. You can see both teams are fairly sort of involved. DiceGang now, like there's something happening. You can tell as they all sort of gather around that one computer to take a look at something. Someone spotted something interesting.
And you're never sure if
they've loaded in.
Oh, they're going to drop down on the key. Brilliant.
Yeah, this is
again
classic DiceGang.
Again, skipping the lovely level we made. Thanks, DiceGang.
At this point, for all the level designers and graphic designers and that, this is your hard work on show.
Yeah.
Here we go. Very slowly lowering onto the key. The collection. The landing.
Nice.
7 health remaining.
Good job.
There's their 4th key.
When you see them kind of huddle up in the corner, you never really know. It's either two things: one, something's gone seriously wrong, or two, they're like, we're close to a key.
Yeah,
we're gonna get that key.
It's excitement in one way or the other, and it's that if it's gone right, it's gone really right.
Yeah, sure.
But again, classic DiceGang, skipping all of the levels, grabbing the key. They are leading 4-2. So it's a pretty good position they find themselves in right now.
Yeah, now they're trying to flex on MMM because they're on the same
level.
On the same level. MMM beat them in the previous level where they managed to get the key before they did. So they know where they need to get to, just not how to get there. It's like
this scrolling
like
is very interesting, by the way, for them.
Like most university students, they know where they want to get to, but not how to get there in life. It's just we're all making our way through life at the moment.
I mean, can you fall backwards into a key? Well, I guess we just saw that they fell backwards into a key. It was rather intentional, but you know.
I'd be super interested to know whether the lasers, them kind of ticking through it, the laser would impact them.
Yeah.
Now they look to be manually controlling here.
They've got a locked camera.
Could be a pathfinder.
They're still at 100 health. They're dodging out on the bits and pieces. Skewered there by our flag thing, but you can see them moving along. The platforming looks good. You know.
So they're doing the platforming and moving the overlay at the same time. That's quite impressive. I don't think that's my level of platformer.
Do you reckon they're playing the platformer, or is this just this has got to be a TAS style auto run through?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So they managed to get through with all their health, which is awesome.
So a purple box as a teleporter.
They're using the keypad to scroll.
I like just typing at the top. Yeah, they've encapsulated how I feel about this. This is good. But
again,
they're moving through.
They're speeding through.
This looks good, but the health's low, and there's death.
But yeah, they're quick, but they're not that quick.
It's about halfway through, and they took the death there. So quite a long way to go.
I mean, we know the shoes are some of the items give you power-ups. The shoes give you speed.
Could help.
But they didn't make it over halfway, and I think it's only like it's not the biggest. I don't know if it's a boost that's going to be big enough.
Right. Yeah, there's going to have to be a number of different approaches to this one. So I don't think just running through it's really going to get them anywhere. Maple Mallard Magistrates, again, not much still going on there. We can see they're still working hard through it.
Just that you died on the screen for both of them, taunting them.
Just a reminder of the state.
Lots of them, though, if you're tuning in and this is your first CTF, they're all working on separate laptops. They have a dedicated gaming laptop that we can see. So there's lots of stuff going on that we can't see. So yeah, hopefully soon they'll get back to the main gaming laptop and we'll be able to see some keys get got.
Unlike your typical sort of speedrun competitions where you get a lot of players who are very familiar and very well versed in the game, none of the players that have been here over the weekend have had like much time with. They've had a lot of time with the game client itself, but the challenges have been, hidden away for both teams who are playing right now. They haven't seen the challenge.
So that's interesting. Mew there is throwing grenades, and after throwing a few, ends up dying.
Okay, so the grenades are taking away health as well.
The grenades are taking away health.
I didn't actually know that Mew had grenades.
So
wow, that's 3 grenades, got him down to 10 health.
So 30 per grenade.
Yeah,
I can do that math.
Faster than I could.
Yeah. I also read it.
I don't feel so bad now.
I used my calculator earlier to do 90 divided by 3.
Set up that way. So that's an interesting mechanic. I wonder how that's going to play out on this level. It feels like it's the kind of thing that's there for a reason.
MMM were moving back to the gaming laptop, but they've stepped away from it now. DiceGang are huddling again, so could be they're close to figuring out. Oh, Mew's health.
Delta the Hunter there. Oh, we've got some movement now over on MMM side. They've gone back to the overworld. This is a bit interesting. Oh, they've entered the Brain Duck Challenge.
Ooh.
So I guess they've just abandoned the other one for the time being?
Yeah,
Or it's been, someone else is working on it.
we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time we've seen one of the Brain Duck challenges, and there it goes.
Why?
We'll
I mean, they might have figured out that if they complete Brain Duck, the items, the boots, they might think they need the boots for that level.
For the Brain Duck challenge?
No, for the
the other one.
For the other one.
Yep.
If for the one that
No, that makes sense.
DiceGang are on.
So we'll see if MMM goes back into Brain Duck Challenge. DiceGang still sitting in, it's CCTV on there. So they're back in Brain Duck. And seeing a lot of debug messages here. It's
Yes.
interesting to see.
Telling them the current state.
Yeah, oh, here we go. Searching for something within the debug, and they didn't find it. Order is. See, they're searching down through. Doc? Yeah, duck.
It's
Doc?
yeah.
Doc or duck?
It's interesting because these are two very different challenges. So the mindset you have to try and solve this one, then flip to a platformer, is quite unique.
The skill set is very different. Like just playing through the games manually is always going to be something different. It's more of a challenge, I mean, from the name of Brain Duck alone, you've got a hint of what's. Oh no, they have changed. They've gone into our logic puzzle. So we might actually get to see this one this time.
Yeah.
So they're looking at all these switches here. The state changing across what I am going to charitably call the display up the top is are they going to try to? It's going to be a long code, right?
Yeah. I mean, if they manage to solve it, which, judging by what we can see on the screen, might not be solvable.
I feel like this is, trying to manually type in a randomly generated password because, your favorite banking website decides that it doesn't like copy and paste for some reason.
I feel like a lot of people will be looking at this going, I recognize this pattern. And then others will be like, this makes no sense to me. It's just colors.
I'm in the no sense bucket. It's colors. It feels like a lot of different switches with a lot of different state changing. So this.
Oh, and we have it. I think they're gonna maybe get another key.
This one's for DiceGang. They're making some moves. Out of sync! Oh, hit by the anti-cheat.
Oh,
that's a shame.
that's embarrassing for
You'll
them.
love to see it.
Yeah. The organizer who made the anti-cheat is patting themselves, patting themselves on the back right now.
Big grin.
Yeah.
They're loading back in.
Oh,
Straight into the anti-cheat again.
did we push a hotfix? Is that? I mean, their stuff seems to be working.
Yeah, it was looking really good. It's amazing stuff. Meanwhile, Maple Mallard Magistrate's still going through a logic puzzle. It really looks like they're manually inputting whatever the code is that they need to do. This could take some time. I guess if we're going on the layers that they're down, they're coming near to the end. Hope they haven't made a mistake. It'll be amazing to see if this works. Like, it's a long code, so.
I mean, I just know if I was doing this, I would have made a mistake at least 3 times.
Yeah, I can't type my own password properly.
No.
Like, and that's one of those things. The second you start thinking about it, like, no, it's.
If you want to write your password down here, I can I'll type it for you next
1,
time.
2, 3, 4. No, sorry, Hunter 2. Missed my opportunity. But it's looking good. They're coming towards the end here. Number of different state changes. Let's see. Are they confident in their password input? But I'm hoping it works for them. I really am. This is going to be awful if it doesn't. Down to the last 3. two. Oh no. Okay.
And
Oh
they've
no,
done
there
it.
it's done. Yeah.
I think now we can probably reveal what that what that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think they chucked in a Sudoku challenge. That's what that is.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
So Maple Mallard Magistrates, they've got their second key against second key, one item against DiceGang, who have got 3 keys and 1 item. It's looking somewhat even at the moment. MMM are behind by 1 key, so that can really come into play later on. They still need 2 keys to take the lead. You know, heading closer to time. Time's ticking down on them. They're going to have to make some moves here.
And we still need to see 2 keys. 1 more key from DiceGang, but we can see the boss. It'll be a real shame if we get to if we go through all 3 games and don't see the boss.
It kind of feels like, or at least for this game, that boss. I mean, the problem is if DiceGang get to the boss, we won't see it anyway. But
yeah, they're just
yeah,
behind the scenes.
it'll just be defeated, and we'll see it. So they're moving back into the Brain Duck Challenge again. It looks like they're having another crack at that one.
Yeah, they managed to get in without being booted by the anti-cheat.
Oh, they've overcome that obstacle. That's pretty good. Maple Mallard Magistrates loading back into the game. It should take like 40 seconds. You know, it hasn't been 40 seconds at all.
So yeah, I don't think they were fully kicked. Oh, no, I just said they weren't kicked out for cheating. They were. They were right there. Yeah.
There's a commentator's curse happening in real time right there.
Yep.
It's amazing. We can see a bit of the underlying code for their tooling, I think, by the looks of it.
Import Pikachu, I choose you. Oh, wow.
Okay. I mean, go for it.
For my sins, I was always a Bulbasaur fan.
I think I went Charmander most of the time, which I
did.
think that's like easy mode, isn't it? Yeah. You know, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Easy mode, like apparently DiceGang have enabled.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not.
Still hitting that anti-cheat, out of sync again. It's
This is for the duck level. They're getting it right. The anti-cheat. That's what it sounds. That's what it looks.
I think so. Or are they running into? I think they might be running into a different level. Oh no, it is the duck level. You're right. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah,
yes,
they're going for the second one down on the left.
So they must be going in with something preloaded and it's being detected at.
Well, you can see they're commenting out certain things here, so they're trying to fix this out of sync issue. So they've got a lot of different things loaded, and it feels like they're trying to get the minimum of, or the maximum of their tooling to bypass anti-cheat.
Agreed. I mean, you've got to be thinking at this time, DiceGang are maybe saying, we need 1 more to maybe solidify victory, but they're going to try and get as many keys as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, DiceGang's in a good position because not only are they 1 key up, but they've got the time advantage on their side if it comes to an item draw. Yeah. Maple Mallard Magistrates needs 2 keys to retake the lead in any way, shape or form at a minimum. They
all seem to have abandoned the final platformer and they're heading in for the
Brain Duck.
For the Brain Duck.
Yeah. So we'll see, we've got some movement from the Maple Mallard Magistrates. They've got something called mazesolver.py, which they're loading in. So, okay, this will be interesting. Whoa. Okay.
Oh, well, that's the brain
duck?
That's the
brain fudge?
Yeah, brain fudge. That's the brain fudge.
Yeah, that's the brain fudge. This looks... They look like they're on the right path at this point, so... It's whether it lies through. It's hard to see exactly what's loading in.
Something is happening in the room with DiceGang. They were all crowding around again, but now they've dispersed.
Dispersed back out. You know, that look in DiceGang right now, I know that feeling, which is, why isn't this working?
Yeah, yeah. I think they're both on the kind of the precipice or on the idea that they need the boots to complete the final key, which who knows?
It feels close. It's, you know, it's the kind of thing where it looks like all the right pieces are there. It's just getting them in the order that they need to be in.
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, DiceGang, they're loading in, taking a look at some of their. This is their tooling code, or is this our gang client? This looks like theirs. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, we've got movement for Maple Mallet Magic straight into a wall.
Yep.
Not necessarily a bad thing.
It's a bold
don't know.
move. Let's see if it pays off. Well, pays off for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, could the automation here be off by a bit? It looks like it's trying to move around the maze.
Just doesn't want to go left.
No.
Oh, you can see little numbers in the maze.
That's interesting. I wonder what they've worked out from these.
Oh.
They can hit the anti-cheat from DiceGang. It's one of those things. How many times these teams have gotten to the point of they've got the solution only to be denied by anti-cheat in the worst way possible.
Yeah. You don't want to meet Uncle Cheat.
Absolutely not. They're going in for another run, straight into the anti-cheat again. This is a continual problem.
Yeah, and again, this is something that they're going to have to fix
Yeah.
if they want to do well in the final round.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and all of this counts. Like, you know, time is slowly slipping away for them. You know, it'll come on time for them soon enough, and yeah, major moves need to start happening at some point. But it can be very hard at the end of that. It's just difficult. We're still watching MMM run into the wall repeatedly. I think at this point it's going back to the drawing board in terms of how the automation's going to work.
Yeah, you can tell that by the fact that no one's on the gaming laptop and just the characters just running into the wall.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. It's getting tight.
It's the digital version of banging your head against a wall to try and figure out and solve a challenge, I think.
It's a good feeling, you know. It's very representational. So DiceGang loading back in. Can they get past the anti-cheat? I feel that's their only blocker right now. And no, unfortunately, they cannot.
Again, the organizer they're double patting now. Two hands on
got
the
to
back
be feeling really good.
How they've done.
Here we go. MMM moving in through the Brain Duck Challenge through the maze. This is looking very confident. Straight into 2. So they're picking up what they need. They're moving around now.
Did they?
They've touched 2. They've touched 9.
Touched 8.
8.
Wonder where they're getting the numbers from. Wow.
Ooh, we have another flag capture noise.
I think that might have been a fake key.
I think it might have been.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very easy for some of the scripting and tooling here to trip over it. So they've touched 6. They touched a few other there that we missed. But this is looking good for MMM right now. Like this seems like a confident solve. Like there's no sort of second guessing the moves.
Yeah, for sure.
It's moving now. How long is the? I guess it's a password at this point, or a number-based password. So.
Yeah, I think they're picking something up in a particular order.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's supposed to be represented by numbers or if it's represented by something else.
Well, the numbers could be, or I guess positions of some sort. But
yeah,
it's the real question becomes like similar to the Sudoku logic puzzle before. How long is the string that they're after? Like this feels like almost the second or third run through the entire maze.
Yeah, so I think it looks like a particular order of numbers that they're picking up.
We did see in their tooling before, it was slightly obscure, but they loaded a maze solver with the input arguments being a series of numbers. I didn't see how long those numbers were.
MMM seem to be heading towards the end of the map.
Oh, it's looking good.
They're exiting.
Exiting.
Did we see a...
There it is. They've got the boots.
They've got the boots. Oh, wow.
And moving straight into the platformers. This is looking very confident.
Yeah.
There's excitement in here in the room for it. I love the boots. This is great. There's a death. This is amazing. And there it is. That's time. There's a score of 4-4. DiceGang at the end of the day takes it by being ahead on time. Wow, that was an amazing match. That was absolutely spectacular. The Brain Duck Challenge proving to be a big thing at the end.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
I mean, shocked is one word. I mean, they came out of the gates and almost from the get-go, they had that special tooling that just shot through the game, and we couldn't see what they were doing, but it was amazing. Congratulations to DiceGang.
Yeah, it was amazing tooling that we saw there. It was amazing movement throughout the match. Let's give it up one more time for DiceGang, the winner that will be moving on to the grand finals. Not to be understated, the other team, Maple Mallard Magistrates, put up an absolute sterling fight the whole way through. Great teams, great match. I'm looking forward to the finals at this point.
It just came down to the technique and the speed of which you got the keys.
Absolutely.
But yeah, DiceGang are saying we're here with their tooling. They're showing us that they're here to be seen with their tooling and with their high-vis jackets.
That underdog story coming through, and I mean, we may have invented the underdog story for DiceGang, but I'm going to roll with it at this point. It was great. So they'll be heading into the grand finals. Be sure to tune in for the grand finals. That'll be taking place at 6:30 Japan Standard Time. From myself, Ollie, any final thoughts?
No, just tune into the final and hopefully we'll see the boss this time. I just want to see the boss. I'm going to have to touch wood somewhere.
I'm with you there. I want to see that as well. From myself, Paul, and from Ollie, thank you for tuning in for the semi-finals too. Be sure to tune in for the grand finals at 6:30 Japan Standard Time. Thank you once again so much for watching.
Cheers. Thank you.